Welcome to Motor Max. Every week, the world's most extraordinary machines. One engine, one cylinder, one mission. The heart first to fifth in under 6 seconds. 105 kilograms of machine reaching speed. 105 kilograms, 63 horsepower. One purpose, to be the fastest thing on a supermoto track. Component chosen from the top shelf. Because on the track, braking is as important as acceleration. The WP system keeps the KTM composed when lesser suspension would send the rider into trouble.
7.2 liters of fuel at 3.68 liters per half a minute is sporting class.
Metzeler Racetech SMK1, the fastest typ gladklippen zu blatt, the right drivesterker see right machine.
Fuel economy, 3.68 liters per 100 kilometers. Drivetrain, 5-speed Pankel gearbox, chain final drive. Electronics, KTM ion to iambillity ignition system. Every specification, every measurement, every number, verified against KTM official data. Dimensions, wheelbase 1,482 millimeters. Dry weight 105 pounds, lighter than any production 450cc rival on the market. It comes with a number plate, which means it belongs on the street as much as the track, and on the street it is a different kind of weapon. Beautiful to look at, extraordinary to ride, impossible to forget. Engine, 449.3cc single cylinder, single overhead cam. The track, the only place where the KTM 450 SMR can fully express what it was built to do. 105 kilograms, 63 horsepower, race suspension. The complete 2023 KTM 450 SMR. Every number. From supercars to superbikes, if it moves fast and looks incredible, it belongs here. The 2023 KTM 450 SMR, not a road bike that pretends to race, an actual race machine with a number plate. Born in Austria, built for one job, the KTM 450 SMR does not negotiate with corners, it attacks them. Every panel, every bolt, every gram, chosen with one goal in mind, to go faster.
When you stand next to it, you feel it. This machine does not sit still, it waits.
Seat height, N449cc engine that pulls like something twice its size. Electric start, KTM fuel injection, and an exhaust note that makes everyone on the street turn and look. This is what 63 horsepower feels like in 105 kilograms. It does not ask, it takes. Bigger horsepower does not always mean faster lap times. The SMR proved that in Moto America 2025. Let's find out exactly what makes this machine so special. Stay with us. 449.3 cubic centimeters, one cylinder, 4-stroke, and more energy per cubic centimeter than almost anything on two wheels. Single overhead cam, DLC-coated rocker arms, valves lighter than a feather, engineered to survive 11,500 RPM repeatedly. KTM EMS fuel injection, precise fueling at every RPM, from idle to the 11 red line, zero hesitation. Officially, over 63 horsepower. Engine weight, just 26.8 kilograms. That is more than 600 horsepower per ton. Supercar territory. For 2023, KTM tilted the engine 2 degrees rearward in the frame. Front sprocket dropped 3 mm. 2 oil pumps. Liquid cooling, forced lubrication throughout. This engine is built to race hard and come back tomorrow and do it again. Lithium-ion 2.0 amp-hour battery. Electric start. In 2023, KTM made this race machine even easier to live with. Nearly 200 kilometers of range from a machine this aggressive. Remarkably efficient. The frame of the KTM 450 SMR is not stamped from a template. It is robot welded from 25 chromomo stitchable and torsional flex, so the frame itself absorbs energy, reducing rider fatigue across a full race distance. Compression adjustable, rebound adjustable, toolless adjusters on the top of each leg because trackside tuning has to be fast. The WP system keeps the KTM composed when lesser suspension would send the rider into trouble. New for 2023, a 22mm rear axle. Larger, stiffer, more precise. Improved traction under hard braking. Better corner entry stability. Wheelbase radiant millimeters. Every number exactly where it needs to be for a supermoto machine. A chassis built like a race bike. Suspended like a race bike. Because the KTM 450 SMR is a race bike. 310mm. Floating disc. And a 4-piston Brembo monoblock caliper that has stopped race bikes at the world's fastest circuits. Under hard braking, the KTM 450 SMR stops harder and shorter than motorcycles with twice the power. That is the Brembo advantage. Brembo hydraulics front and rear, because consistency matters when you are braking into a 30km/h hairpin. The Suter slipper clutch, a name from MotoGP, an anti-hopping mechanism that this is professional racing hardware. Wet multi-disc clutch, Brembo hydraulic operation, engineered to handle repeated race pace abuse without fade, without slip, without failure. 5/8 by 1/4 inch heavy-duty chain drive, the final link between 63 horsepower and the tarmac, chosen for durability at race intensity. Wet multi-disc clutch, Brembo hydraulic operation, engineered to handle repeated race pace abuse without fade, without slip, without failure. 5/8 by 1/4 inch heavy-duty chain drive on the tarmac, chosen for durability at race intensity.
Metzeler Racetech SMK1, the fastest T-Glad zu Blatt, the right Brivstärker see right machine.
Alpina tubeless spokes, Supermoto-Specific Setup 17-inch rear component chosen from the top shelf. Because on the track, braking is as important as acceleration. Pankel Racing Systems. Supplier to Formula One. Supplier to MotoGP. It's by momentarily cutting ignition on upshifts, completing the gear change in milliseconds without touching the clutch. 5 gears. Close ratio. Designed for supermoto track use, up through the gears at race pace, each shift in under 50 milliseconds. Clutchless, seamless, and completely addictive. Downshifts are managed by the Suter slipper clutch. Blipping the throttle is optional. The bike takes care of rear wheel stability automatically. The gearbox is tuned to minimize false neutrals, a problem that costs race positions. When you select second, you get second, every time. First to fifth in under 6 seconds. 105 kilograms of machine reaching speeds that embarrass much larger motorcycles. That is what the Pankel gearbox delivers. Final drive by 5/8 by 1/4 inch chain. Sprocket ratios. The track. The only place where the KTM 450 SMR can fully express what it was built to do.
5 gears. The KTM 450 SMR gearbox remit, and it masters it completely.
0 to gone, the 450 SMR does not ease into acceleration. It commits. At this weight, with this suspension, the 450 SMR changes direction faster than your eyes can follow. The foot peg feelers touch the track at full lean. On a motor slope, that moment arrives early, and it feels extraordinary. Brembo front brakes at their limit. 320 millimeters of disc, 4 pistons. The defining moment of supermoto racing. The controlled rear slide. On the 450 SMR, it is not a drama, it is a tool. In 2025, James Rispoli won the Moto America Super Hooligan Championship on a KTM. Against 600cc sports bikes, the 450 SMR loses on the straight and makes it all back in the corners. Lap times tell you the truth. This is what the KTM 450 SMR was built for. This feeling, this moment, the finish line. The 450 SMR comes with a number plate, which means it belongs on the street as much as the track, and on the street, it is a different kind of weapon. It's a 2-liter tank to nearly 200 kilometers. For a performance machine, that is remarkable. From a traffic light, everything is slower than the 450 SMR. Everything. Take it out of the city and onto a mountain road, and the 450 SMR becomes something else entirely. A pure riding experience. Narrow, light, flickable. In a city, the 450 SMR is easier to park than a bicycle feels. Rain does not stop the 450 SMR. The Metzeler SM compound adapts, the chassis remains neutral, and the rider's confidence stays high.
Every ride on the 450 is the same way. You do not want to stop. You immediately plan the next one. 7.2 liters of fuel. At 3.68 liters per half a minute, gets 40 kilometers.
Road registered, road light entered, and enough performance to embarrass virtually anything it shares tarmac with.
Race machine, road legal, completely extraordinary. Every specification, every measurement, every number, verified against KTM official data. Engine, 449.3 cc single cylinder, single overhead cam. Dimensions, wheelbase 1,482 millimeters. Dry weight, 105 pounds, lighter than any production 450cc rival on the market. Suspension, WP Exact 48 Fracmir. Drivetrain, 5-speed Pankel gearbox, chain final drive. Brakes, 310mm rear, single Brembo. Electronics, KTM Ion to Iambillity ignition system. Fuel economy, 3.68 liters per 100 kilometers. The complete 2023 KTM 450 SMR. Every number. After everything we have shown you today, the engineering, the performance, the specification, one question remains. Is the 2023 KTM 450 SMR worth it? We say yes, without hesitation. 105 kilograms, 63 horsepower, race suspension. Who is it for? Track day riders who want to win, urban riders who want to feel alive every morning, and experienced supermoto racers who know exactly what this machine can do. Or Spike Spice. And on the right circuit, it is faster. That is the value proposition of the 450 SMR. Beautiful to look at, extraordinary to ride, impossible to forget. The MotorMax verdict, engine 9.5, all the Lions forward. This is MotorMax, drive legendary, always.